But first, to perform their new single, Things Are Changing Fast, welcome please Bottler and Declan Nerney, ladies and gentlemen.
I've lived right here in the Emerald Isle since I was just a tot. And Declan's dad in his pony trap on Sundays couldn't be seen.
But hey, the pony trap's now out of date. 'Tis Bottler's limousine.
Do you remember the good old days? Forever they are past. They'll never be the same again, 'cause things are changing fast.
I still recall the winter nights and the cottages so bright. It wasn't from the electric scheme, 'twas a good old candlelight.
And the Haley in the country home with the fiddler in the stand. But that would never do today. It's a 5 or a 6 piece band. Do you remember the good old days? Forever they are past. They'll never be the same again, 'cause things are changing fast.
The low backyard, the rocking chair, the tandem made for two. Memories of days gone by, today they are so few.
Our present need is rush and speed and travel night and day. A foreign land sent to hand, 'cause things are here to stay. Do you remember the good old days? Forever they are past. They'll never be the same again, 'cause things are changing fast. Hey!
The grass grows green, the shamrocks sing, the mountains stand so tall. They're always there beyond compare, they never changed at all.
Oh, the friends we knew are still so true and will be till the end. I'd give this world of years gone by if they'd be renewed again. Do you remember the good old days? Forever they are past. They'll never be the same again, 'cause things are changing fast. Hey! Do you remember the good old days? Forever they are past. They'll never be the same again, 'cause things are changing fast. In the Nerney and Brendan Run!
Ladies and gentlemen, Declan Nerney and Bottler. And while Bottler goes off to find his dad, would you please welcome Mr. Declan Nerney on stage?
Whoa! How are you?
Good to see you.
Brian, good man. How are you doing? Thank you.
How, in the name of all
God.
things good, did you end up with this man, Mr. Brendan Grace?
That's a hard job.
Yeah, I'd say it is. How do you know each other?
Well, I'll tell you, when you spend 3 years in 6th class, the same class, for 3 years with him, you get to know him.
I'd say there's a bit of that about
And
it.
there's a fair chance that we might have to stay another year.
Yeah, it's a bit
in
like
6th
that.
class.
Okay, and where did the idea to record this great tune come from?
Well, actually, it's Brendan's idea because over maybe 10 years ago, he's been on to me about this particular tune.
Yeah.
And the opportunity just never came about to record it.
Yeah.
And a reason to record it. So we've got actually a great reason and a great idea behind the whole recording, which is my little friend here.
Yes.
And to support the Irish Cancer Society.
Good stuff.
So that's what it's all about.
Okay, and recording that song, was there any work done in the studio, or is your man a total messer?
Oh, Lord. Yeah, something. This is Easter week. I don't need any more penance. I have my penance already over me.
So you're not going to do an album then, no?
Oh, well, you never know. God only knows. Maybe, hopefully, down
See
the
what
road,
happens.
yeah.
But you met kind of pretty much business-wise on cruise ships, is that
Yeah.
right? Tell us about it. I didn't know there were cruise ships.
Well,
with
there
all
is.
you
Yeah,
guys.
there's this all-Irish cruise that goes out to the Caribbean every year, and we are invited out there. And Brendan was the comedian. They have a comedian, a dance band, folk and traditional. Mary is going out next year, Mary Byrne, and there's a lot of all the top Irish artists got on there. And Brendan will be doing his show, maybe in the theatre, and later on that night I'd be performing in some of the other rooms. And just out of the blue, I'd be playing me songs, the Marquee and the Rish, and next thing, this colourful gentleman would be standing right behind me, just unannounced, totally unannounced, and he would join in the song, so you have no choice only allow him in. And we've become great friends since that there, and he'll join in with me on the song. And
yeah, and you don't mind him acting the maggot then on stage behind you?
Sure, look, I'm one of them myself, so I can't complain.
A pair of winners. Will we bring Brendan back, will we, ladies and gentlemen? Please welcome Brendan Grace. Grace.
Ryan,
yeah.
Declan, when you chicken, you fix me braces.
Fix your braces,
the wrap are open and you're gone.
Well, we don't want an incident.
No, we don't want an incident. All the girls to be running out. Make sure I have my microphone here as well. Thank you so much. I went to look for a bottle.
Yeah, what happened to him?
That doesn't matter, so I'll sit down.
He got lost along the way.
There's Easter eggs and everything up there.
Ah, sure, it's great. It's great. It's a great pleasure for you to be here.
How did you discover this man along the way?
Well, he discovered himself.
Yes.
He was having a pint of Guinness one night, and when he was finished the pint, he discovered he was under the glass. And here he is now to tell the tale.
That's it.
There's no doubt, Declan. He'll be lovely now. I tell you, really, he's a great guy. He really is. I'm very fond of him. And not only that, but he's good to all of the people in show business.
Good stuff.
They all get a good gag out of him.
Yeah.
Don't they?
He was telling us that when you're doing the cruises and the ships and all that, he's trying to do a serious performance, as you can imagine.
Yes,
and
course,
then you make your presence felt looming behind like a shadow of boldness.
But you see, I'm a brat.
You are a brat.
I learned it from my son, Bottler.
Yes.
Bottler, what a terrible demon he is.
Yeah.
He'll be 21 next year, please God.
Okay, well, good
21,
stuff.
21, isn't that hard to believe?
Yeah, it is hard to believe, but
yeah.
So what's the plan then? You obviously got together with Declan to do the song. Can you do a Declan performance-wise, or do
I do an impression of him?
Do you do one?
You should actually do an impression of me.
He actually does me better than I can do myself. That makes sense.
You've never been done.
Give us an idea of a Declan Nerney performance.
I got my inspiration in the Mackey in Drumlish. Oh, they rode north and he rode south. I rode actually. See the way Why you what? We do a great impression.
It's good old fun.
Yeah, I'm just fixing me braces here. Now, Declan.
Oh, good man.
Brendan, the last time we saw you here was what, your 40th year at Showbiz with a big anniversary programme for you.
Right.
How's life been since then?
Wonderful night. It's been great.
Yeah, what have you been up to?
Absolutely great. Well, I've been taking a lot of time off.
Yeah.
I live over in America nowadays, and I've got my 3 grandchildren are there in Boston, and we commute. We emigrated to America almost 20 years ago with our children, and now all of a sudden they've emigrated on us.
Have they?
Up to Boston.
Yeah.
So we're down in Florida trying to keep the heat in.
Yeah, I'd say you are.
And, but it's a great life. I love it.
We had great fun with James the last time when he came on.
James.
And he's your natural successor, I think, is he?
I think he is, because James will be the eldest of the 3 grandchildren. There's James and there's Patrick, and then there's Aidan.
Yes.
And when I go back now I go in through Boston tomorrow, and James will be there, and he'll be the first one in the line.
Waiting for you.
Wait, I'm sorry. He'll be waiting for me.
Here we go.
My daughter Melanie, I think she deliberately gives him candy floss. And he makes a run at me. And he's suddenly stuck to me. I can't let him down. That's so the other lads won't get a look in.
Oh, you see. Okay.
But it's wonderful. It really is.
I'd love to share just a little kind of remembrance of James being on the show the last time. Do you remember you got up and did it?
Yes.
Have a look at this. Just to remind you, he's a great little fella. Have a look at this.
What a microphone.
A microphone.
Why did you ask for a microphone? Because you're a?
Because I'm a pro. Pro. She went a wheelbarrow to a tree broad and narrow, Bangkok goes and the stones and arrival. All together now!
What a kid.
Oh, dear goodness.
So, are you the Easter bunny then when you go over the Easter?
I'm actually the Easter bunny, yeah, because, most people take clothes in their suitcase.
Yeah.
But I take Easter eggs.
You take the chocolate off.
And not one of them will be broken. Not one of them. The way I pack them, they won't be broken. And it's stupid, you know. It's like people who go in and buy Christmas cards. I remember my mother, Lord rest her soul, she used to go in and she'd always look for assorted Christmas cards. And she'd hate 15 of them and like the other 5. And I used to say to her, why don't you buy all of the one you like? Because they're going to different people. And it's the same with the Easter eggs. I've got every type of Easter egg now, and I'm looking forward to it. I can't have one.
No, you can't, but you can hand them out and be the good guy, as it were. Declan, the last time you were here, I think one of them anyway, was with Una Healy, your niece.
That's right, yeah.
You did a beautiful version of Time After Time.
Yeah.
And she had a number one, her first number one with the Saturdays.
Yeah, this is the first number one of all the tunes they've had. They've had near misses, I suppose. They had number 2s and number 3s there, and in fairness to them, they deserve that because they're number one this week, and it's ironic that it should be this weekend, fair play.
Of course, I've been speaking to her a few times on the radio since then, and she is the proudest mother I think I've ever spoken to in recent times with Aoife Bell. And you were at the christening, weren't you?
I was. We were over at the christening and all of that business, and it was on the reality TV programme as well.
What was happening?
That's the American reality TV was filming, you know, the whole christening and all of that business. So, you know, it was a great opportunity for us to see exactly what goes on there. But it's an amazing thing. It didn't interfere really with the celebrations whatsoever. And they were very, very good, and it was very exciting times, I have to say now.
Good times.
Yeah, lovely.
Other celebrations, of course, Brendan, 40th wedding anniversary. Congratulations. That's a big one, I have to say.
Thank you.
You're only 45.
That's true.
Yeah, not bad.
Thank you very much, and I'd just like to say a very special hello to my wife, Kathleen, Eileen. Eileen, I love you very much. And the applause wasn't for me; it was for your patience.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, coming up for 40.
How did you meet her?
Well, she was the loudest laugher at a gig I was doing in the Talbot Hotel many moons ago. And she was the loudest laugher in the audience.
Yeah.
And I came down because I was the opening act on the show. I was opening for a great man that you all know called Frank O'Donovan, known as Batty Brennan from the Reardons. Right. And I was doing the opening part of his show. So I spent the interval trying to chat her up. And then eventually she came. We didn't go back, like she was staying in one hotel and I was staying in the other. There was no question of interfering, just in case there's anybody looking. And we just became great buddies, and then we got married, and she's been trying to get out of it ever since.
Ever since. Because that's down through the years, given the nature of the business, of course, you would have spent a lot of time on the road, coming and going. So, but you kept it together and you kept things on track all the time.
I did. Well, as Declan knows, I mean, you know, we've travelled, you know, up and down Ireland. You know, we travel a great deal.
Yes.
And in the early days, and still, you know, nowadays we stay over, but in the early days, you know, you couldn't afford to stay over, so we used to find ourselves coming back, you know, at 5, 6 in the morning.
Yeah, so you're always on the back
of a van. I remember one time in particular, I was telling you this beforehand, Declan, that I saw my young son, he was only 10 at the time, and he came down the stairs that morning, and we were comfortable at the time. Yeah. We were living in a nice house, and it was centrally heated, and he came down, and the kids now, you know, kids, as you know, get more than we did, you know, food and clothes and that. But he came down the stairs, and as he came down, he went straight to the fridge. Yeah. And I thought to myself, well, did we have fridges when we were young? Did we? Anybody my age, did we have fridges? No. There was no need for them. we'd nothing to put into it. And he took out his yogurt and his orange juice. Yeah. And he went over to the cabinet, the larder, the pantry. And like I said, we were comfortable. And he's looking in at cornflakes, Rice Krispies, Frosties, Fruit and Fibre, Special K, Honey Nut Lube, Sugar Puffs, Cocoa Pops, Corn Pops, Banana Bubbles, Shredded Wheat, Weetabix, Alpen, Muesli and Porridge. And he said, there's nothing there I really liked. I gave him a box. Anyway, the whole thing was, that was the difference in those days. Yeah. And then it came about now. And in fact, the reason that Declan and I decided with this song to make it special is because the Daffodil Day, as you all know, came and went. And unfortunately, it came in very, very bad weather. Yes. And I heard the story, we both heard the story that that they didn't do well as they would have done. So we decided with this song, and we had the great opportunity of coming on the late show because you asked me to come on with Declan a few times.
That's true.
And we said let's donate all the proceeds for this song.
Yeah, it's a good thing to do.
The cancer.
It's a great thing to do.
And I think it's a very, very deserving cause. And anybody who... It'll be available soon for download, and it'll also be available in the shops in a while, and all proceeds will be going places like Tesco's and places like that stock CDs.
You mentioned Bottler's going to be 21 soon, but your own birthday's on April the 1st of all days. Is that true?
Yeah. Now it's your turn to laugh, Declan.
Were you really born on April the 1st?
I was born on April the 1st, and nobody still believes it, but I'm willing to line up outside here tonight and show my driver's license.
Oh, you are? Okay.
I am, if anybody doesn't believe it, yeah.
Just a bit of proof.
I'll be over 50. And well over. Yeah. 12 years over it. And I can't hide my age. I know there's a lot of people looking tonight and saying, God, he's too old to be a grandparent.
Yes, lots of people are saying that, Brendan. Know. Lots of people.
But then, you know, it'll happen.
He's got that lovely, fresh complexion all the time.
Right.
You're a great double act, lads, I have to say.
So it's really a great... and Bottler, you know, in this year of the gathering...
Yes.
Bottler, I have my own gathering because I've been gathering people, you know, where I live in America, we've lots of people. I bring groups, 40 and 50 people over to Ireland to see the place. Not necessarily to see the tourism spots, but just to come around places I like to go to. And we're doing it this year. And sometime in the year, we are going to have an entry for the Guinness Book of Records for the most bottlers that have ever congregated in one spot.
Well, now there's a record.
And it'll be open to men and women, so it doesn't have to be a bearded bottler, just in case.
So bottlettes are welcome.
Bottlettes and bottlers can come along. And again, you know, I think everybody is aware of a wonderful place with Laura Lynn Children's Hospice. And I'm certainly going to make sure that Bottler is there to help them. And again, you know, we're going to do it for that.
Well, happy birthday in advance, and to both of you for coming in. Thanks a million. Brendan, thanks for Nerney, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you. Ryan, excuse me. Would you mind standing up for a second? Would you mind standing over beside him? Yeah. Stand over there. Just everybody looking in. Now, which camera are they on?
We can do this one maybe, if that suits, yeah?
If you like to. That's called the long and the short of the Late Show.
Okay, lads, sit down for a minute. And just to remind you, of course, that things are changing fast, which is the new single from Brendan and Declan is out now, and as they were saying, all proceeds going to the Irish Cancer Society's Daffodil Day campaign. So well done to you both. Thanks for that.
Those days, forever they are past. They'll never be the same again, 'cause things are changing fast. Hey! The grass grows green, the shamrocks sing, the mountain stands so tall. It wasn't from the electric scheme, 'twas the good old candlelight. And the Haley in the country home, with the fiddler in the stand. But that would never do today, it's a 5 or a 6-piece band. Do you remember the good old days? Forever they are past. They'll never be the same again, 'cause things are changing fast.
First to perform their new single, Things Are Changing Fast. Welcome, please, Bottler and Declan Nerney, ladies and gentlemen.
I remember well the years gone by and the changes they have brought. I've lived right here in the Emerald Isle since I was just a tot. And Declan's dad in his pony trap on Sundays could be seen.
But hey, the pony trap's now out of date. 'Tis Bottler's limousine.
Do you remember the good old days? Forever they are past. They'll never be the same again, 'cause things are changing fast.
I still recall the winter nights and and the cottage is so bright.
Hey, Margaret Brady.
The low backyard, the rocking chair, the tandem made for two. Memories of days gone by, today they are so few.
Our present need is rush and speed and travel night and day. A foreign land sent to hand, 'cause things are here to stay.